Good morning, everyone. My name's Karen Lehman. I am the Youth Development Program Manager at the Center for Schools and Communities, and really delighted to have you all here. Happy Friday, and welcome to the second of our sessions under the Social Emotional Learning webinar series that we're having for 24-25. Today, I'm honored to welcome Dr. Cheryl McCray to present to us this morning on living your values. Dr. McCray is a strong advocate for new teacher induction and social emotional learning. Her research and experience as a former exceptional education teacher, dean of students, and SEL learning coach prepared her for her current role with Hamilton County Schools in Chattanooga, Tennessee, as an induction specialist. In this role, she supports new teachers, mentors, and administrators through training on behavior and instructional strategies, coaching, and classroom management. Her aim is to enhance teacher retention and improve students' social skills, behavior, and academic performance. Really happy to have Dr. McCray here. She's one of our consultants at the Center for the Promotion of Social Emotional Learning, and honored to have her give this webinar. Thank you, Dr. McCray.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Karen. We're going to jump right into the content for today. You have shared probably everything I would share. The only thing that may not be in the information that you have is about my family, which is at the bottom of my pictures here. My parents, my brother and sister-in-law, my sister and my niece and nephew. I love being around people and friends. And so my friend group, one of my bigger friend groups is called the Dream Girls. They're not three of us, but there are eight of us. And I enjoy living life. And you can see me with swimming with the dolphin at the bottom. So just some other fun facts about me as an individual. This is our agenda for today. We're just going to go through this information. I hope that it does not feel like we're going too quickly. I did want to try to pace it so that it feels like that we're taking the time that we need to take as we engage with the information and explore our core values. Our learning targets here. Understanding the importance of core values and how they influence us personally and professionally. We'll talk about authenticity and resilience. A little bit of the information will be specific to information from Brené Brown, the great Brené Brown. And then we will explore practical ways that we can align our daily actions with our core values. And we'll talk about how that relates and connects to the work that we do with students, teachers, and other individuals that we support. So our welcoming ritual. In Chattanooga, we do welcoming rituals as a part of all of our instruction, all of our trainings, as a way to connect with our students and our audience. So today's welcoming ritual, and please feel free to come off of mute. I'm used to hearing noise, so I like to hear what's happening. I like to hear if it's something in the background, it's not going to bother me. But if you don't mind to share either in the chat or just verbally, if you could have dinner with any celebrity, who would it be? And would you cook or would you cater? And it does not have to be someone that's living. And remember, you can share in the chat or you can come off of mute. Kate Stewart says she would cook with Nelson Mandela. Bruce Willis, that's a good one. Okay. Both of those are excellent. Tom Hanks, and you would cook. Jennifer, would you cook or cater? Okay, we have lots of cooks in here. I love this. Anyone else want to share? Julia Roberts, that's a good one.
I follow Kevin Bacon on Instagram, and he cracks me up because he takes his guitar outside and plays to his goats and his sheep and his other animals. So if he would come and bring his guitar and maybe a goat or two, and we would probably cook, I think.
I love that. Okay, I see Taylor Swift. Yes, that's the one I get every time. Yes, Jason Kelsey. And Bobby Flay. Okay. Yeah, okay. We have lots of cooks. Normally it's a balance between cooking and catering, and sometimes it's heavy on the catering and heavy on the cooking. Okay, cooking with Michelle Obama. I love that. Somebody said brave. Yes. Okay, so my person, if I could cook or cater with any celebrity, it would be Tabitha Brown. I am not vegan, even though Tabitha Brown is vegan, but I would like to cook with Tab. She seems, well, I'm gonna say she seems so warm and loving and just all of the vibes that I would want to be around. She seems like she would be encouraging for anything that I would want to do. And so I've done this welcoming ritual lots of times. And one of the things that she talks about is manifesting, and you say what you want and you wait for it to happen. And so I've done this one probably maybe 3 years. And last February, I met Tabitha Brown at a book signing, and she was just like she is on social media, very much like she is on social media. Thank you all for engaging in their welcoming ritual with me. We're going to move right on into talking about core values. So here you see a graphic, and it starts with our core values: the authenticity, the integrity, compassion, and growth mindset. These are the foundation. These are all of the things that make us who we are. One of the things that Brené Brown says is that our core values don't change from who we are personally to who we are professionally. There are some things that are important in the different areas, but who we are at the core is the same in both arenas. So when we think about our core values as the foundation, we have a mindfulness consultant in our district, and she often talks about the difference between modeling and embodying. Modeling is just us trying to do what we feel like others should see, where embodying is us taking it actually to heart and trying to live, breathe, and be what it is we feel like we want to be and want others to see. And so when we think about putting that in place and how that impacts our teacher well-being and our teacher health, when we are serious about what is at the core, what balance looks like, what are the things that help me stay rooted in those values, those generally help us when we are needing to be balanced as it relates to our well-being and our health as educators. That looks like emotional resilience, reduced stress levels, enhanced satisfaction, and consistent energy. And that takes work. It takes work and it takes reflection. And we're going to take some time with that in just a little bit. When we are well, our students are well. One of the things I love about my job as induction specialist is that I get to put teachers first. I love our kids and I believe in what we do for our children, but I love the fact that I get to put adults first. I get to put teachers first, and that is what they hired me to do. So I don't have to feel bad about the fact that I can say it's time for you to take care of yourself. What can I do to help you take care of yourself? And so sometimes that looks like tapping into what we really value and how can we adjust what we can control to meet those and align with those. Any questions or thoughts as we move through? All right. A value is a way of being and believing that we hold most important. And that's kind of what I just shared a few minutes ago, the things that are at the core and only having one set of values. That information came from Daring to Lead by Brené Brown. Things to think about when we think about our values is vulnerability. It requires that we tap into a sacred space, and also courage and resilience as it relates to those values. When we think about being vulnerable, that's usually when we're our most authentic self, when we tap into that vulnerability. So if you don't mind, in the chat or sharing out, when you hear the phrase core values, what single word comes to mind? When you hear the phrase core values, what comes to mind? Let's see, beliefs, purpose, values, love. Yeah, what we hold dear and how we express that. Absolutely. Truth, yes. Yeah. Integrity, beautiful. Trust, 100% faith. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Those are beautiful values. When I saw purpose, my signature used to say, "Let your passion lead you to your purpose." So that I really connected with that. I want us to take time to actually tap into what our values are. Has anybody explored what their core values are? You can thumbs up, thumbs down, or put it in the chat, however, whatever you need to do. Okay. So we're going to explore our core values. If you don't mind to get a sheet of paper. Yes, top 5. That's me. I couldn't narrow mine down to 3, even though I'm going to have y'all narrow them down to 3. If you don't mind to get a sheet of paper, it can be scratch paper or whatever you need. The first thing we're going to do, I'm going to give you about 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes to look at this slide with the words. And I want you to write down the 10 words that you feel most connected to. 10 is so hard, but it's going to get a little bit harder. It'll take about 30 seconds. All right. Does everybody have their 10? Okay. Now, I'm going to switch off of this screen because I want you to focus on the 10 that you have. On the 10 that you have, if you don't mind, we're going to take 1 minute. And in 1 minute, I want you to scratch out 5. Just cross a line through 5, leaving your top 5. It is. It is. Is there one core value that might be connected or close to something else that's on your list? That might be a way to get it down to 5, Jessica. Okay. Everybody should have 5, right? All right. We're going to take 30 seconds. And now we're going to cross off 2 more, leaving us with our top 3 core values. Kate is shaking her head. She said, no. Marcella is saying no as well. I know, it's so hard. It's so hard. We're narrowing it down to our top 3. Okay, everybody should have scratched off 2 by now. And before I move forward, I do want to take a moment to thank Kate Stewart, who is a part of our district. She's over our community schools in the district. So thank her for supporting me today by engaging with us in the activity. Okay, so we should have our top 3. Okay. Jennifer has posted that faith is her top 1 and it encompasses the other 9. And that's one of the ways to narrow down the core values. Here is a fuzzy picture of my core values. As you can see, I could not stick to 3 either when I did the activity. So if I have to choose out of these 5, the 5 that I have listed here are balance, empower, grace, peace, and growth. So if I have to choose 3 out of it, it would be peace, balance, and growth would be my top 3. But this is posted in my home office as a way to remind me why I do what I do, or in times where I'm feeling frustrated and not feeling grounded, it gives me a place to look and have focus to bring me back to the work. So if you don't mind to share, what were some of your top 3, or what were your top 3 if you don't mind to share? Okay, these are great. Top 3: love, faith, and family. Inclusion, compassion, and well-being. Kindness, integrity, and family. Justice, community, and joy. family, health, adventure. I love adventure. Okay, that's a good one. Okay. Loyalty, truth, and grace. Equality, diversity, and community. Those are beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And we're going to take some time in a little bit to be in groups to talk about like how we got to these and what it looks like to take them to the next level. Accountability. Whew. Yes. Compassion and resourcefulness. And so here's the thing about the core values. Just because we stick to a top 3 or we only pull 5 or we have a top 10, it doesn't mean that the others are not as important to us. But just like I believe it was Jessica was able to pull a lot of, no, it was Jennifer that was able to say, okay, these I could name as this one thing. So it doesn't mean that they're not important to us. We just kind of create a core there. Thank you all for doing that. Okay, hold on to that because we're going to use it in just a minute. What I do want us to talk about, Mike, I apologize because I would like for us to go into groups now and we will go into groups again, but I would like for us to go into small groups and just talk about how have the values that we've chosen, how do they show up in our teaching and leadership style? Okay, so we'll put you all into groups of 3 to 4. We'll take about 3 to 4 minutes to give you all a chance to talk through how does this show up for you all as leaders and educators. Any questions? Okay. And you should have your breakout rooms available to be able to hop into, and we'll take 3 or 4 minutes and we'll share this in so that you can see. I believe we have everyone back. All righty. If y'all don't mind to share what came up for you all in your breakout rooms as it relates to how your core values align or show up in your teaching and leadership style.
Our group was talking about, I really wish we had like 5 more minutes because I didn't get to hear everything Jennifer had to say, but I think we're on the same page that the core values come from not only who you are, but what you do and how you do it on a daily basis. And for me, I had 4, but 2 of them were so close that so compassion and wholeheartedness is like my number 1. Although I think they're the same, so I chose compassion because I've had so many people in my life tell me, you're so intense. Well, it is. Sometimes I am because I'm so compassionate about either what we're talking about or what I'm doing. And so that's number 1 for me. And I have always sought and expected more from myself, accountability. And that's how I am, but that's how I do my everyday life and my job and and sometimes I have issues with it because I expect you to be accountable as I am accountable. And that doesn't always happen. But I've learned through being a parent educator in my job that resourcefulness is really important to me because I've been a single parent all my son's life. And if it couldn't happen, I found a way for it to be close. Like if I needed it, I found a way to do it. And so that's really important for me to take into the homes is, to teach people not to give up, to believe in yourself, be accountable for what you've done and how you do it, and be resourceful. And I'll help you. That's what I'm there for. So
I feel fully connected to all of the things that you said. Accountability. I think we feel, those of us that feel strongly about accountability, we look for it not only for ourselves, but especially in others. Resourcefulness. Resourcefulness is not something that I've thought about that matters to me, but it really does. It really does matter to me that not just that I'm resourceful, but that I make resources available to others, but also that others actually utilize resources that are available, or are educated about the resources that are available. I do want to say we have time, so I don't want anybody to feel rushed in this debrief right now from the group discussion. So if there were things that you did not get to say in your group, feel free to share those out now. I can tell from the chat there's some things left unsaid, so please feel free to share those now. Any other thoughts from your group discussion? Jennifer, I see here that you say for your group is something that you embody and not just model. I'm gonna go back up to your core values if you don't mind.
Yeah,
oh, yours was
mine was faith.
Yes, yeah. Do you mind to share more about the 9 that you had and how you were able to condense those to the 1?
So I had compassion, hope, faith, peace, making a difference, grace, fun, balance, understanding, and connection. So I am a woman of faith, and like through reading my Bible and spending time in my faith life, I feel like my faith encompasses all of those other 9.
Yeah, yeah. Perfect. How do they show up for you as a leader, as an educator?
It teaches me to think about others' perspectives and to help meet people where they're at, but still try to guide them to a more fuller person that they can be, to be gentle in my teaching. And remember that we all have struggles. So I'm actually a supervisor, a parent educator, a mom, and I have many hats. And balance I know is important, and I know that has come up in my faith journey as well. To have that balance between, the life that we live here and the one yet to come. And yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Balance has been my word of the year for many years until this year, and I changed it to alignment because I'm hoping that if I do the things that align with where I want to be, that it will bring me balance. So it's still kind of my word, but I'm hoping that I can have a little more focus to create that balance. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for extending and engaging that with me.
Not at all. Happy to do so.
Yeah. Marcella, there was one thing that you shared about coming off as being intense, and coming off in a way where some people may not understand the passion that you have. I do want to share that I hope that you continue to have that passion and that you continue to embrace all of the things that truly matter to you, even when others don't understand it. I think it's okay for us to be misunderstood sometimes, but I stay into who you are and the truth of who you are, because some will either adjust or they'll come to learn what it is and why you feel the way that you do.
Well, I've learned over the years not to be so loud. But sometimes I mean, in the past I have been, but I truly, when I believe something, it is what it is. So I appreciate that comment.
Yeah. Thank y'all for engaging in that. We're about to take our core values just a little further. And so the next thing we're going to do, it will require paper. You can use the same paper that you have. But what we want to do is we're going to do a practice where we use our core values to create boundaries, create healthy boundaries. Okay, so this is how we end up extend it to our daily life. So you're going to make this little chart that says I value, and then you'll put your core value there, or something connected to your core value. And the next column will say, so I need. and you'll put what you need there. And the last one, and I will honor that by. So the examples we have here are I value energy and clarity. And so I need to have personal time. I am an extrovert, introvert. Every assessment that I've taken is 50-50. So I enjoy people, but I need my time to decompress and recharge. And I will honor that by having a firm morning ritual. That's something I am still working on. But what does that look like? So creating a firm morning ritual. I value family, so I need to be present in the evening. And I will honor that by putting my phone on the charger in another room between the hours of 6 and 9 p.m. These are just examples. So we're going to take a few minutes. If you want to, this is one of the ways during COVID that I learned to know when people are ready. If you want to turn your cameras off so that we know that you're working, and when you're ready, you can turn your camera back on or give me a thumbs up because I do want you to have time to be able to think through and decide what this looks like for you. So we'll know who is ready. We'll take another minute or so. All righty. If you don't mind to use the chat or to unmute to share, if you want to share what you were able to put into your table as far as what you need and how you will honor it.
So I took probably the longest because accountability was easy for me. Resourcefulness was easy for me. Compassion and try to identify what you need and how you're going to honor that was really hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
So that I'm going to share accountability. I need you to be truthful, either with yourself or with me. You know, that's easy for me. And I honor that by giving you the truth. Like I'm going to tell you, oh, I screwed up. I mean, I need to do this. I did this well. I did this wrong. That resourcefulness is, I need time to research, time to think, time to, go in the community, whatever it is. And I'll honor that by taking the time. Sometimes I've in the past taken a couple hours off just to be resourceful and find something that I need for myself or my home. But compassion was hard because how do you find a need? So this is what I came up with. I need you to listen and hear me, and I will honor that by listening and hearing you. That's all I could come up with. It wasn't as easy.
I think that's fair because sometimes we want to be heard, but we are not always the best listeners. That's one of the things that we work on with our mentors is making sure that we are actively listening to our new teachers. So I think that's very valid to share. Yeah. Thank you. Jessica shared that she values grace. So she needs to, so I need to have you be truthful in what you need with me. And I will honor that by granting people time to tell me these things, therefore not stressing myself out by not having people meet me where I am. Absolutely. Grace is one of mine as well. And which I love how you included truth and all of that into your statement because it shows how the values connect. Like while truth is not one of mine and honesty is not one of mine, it is something that I value and it connects to all of the other values that I have. Thank you for sharing that. Is there anyone else that wants to share?
I can go, Dr. McCrae. One of my values was inclusion, and I wrote that I value inclusion, so I need to increase my own cultural competence and will honor that by intentionally seeking out individuals who are different from me, and whether that be on one-to-one or social media, like sometimes I choose to follow accounts that are not like me so that I can learn and be aware of other perspectives.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else before we go into the next part? Okay. Now we are going to go back into our breakout rooms. I want to make sure that I give you enough time. I realized that I did not give you enough time the first time, so I will make sure that we give you enough time. In your breakout groups, if you would share one example of a moment that you felt in alignment with your core values, and then identify one idea to more intentionally live out another core value. And so it could be expanding on what you just did in the practice, or it could be something else if something else comes up for you as you think through the time that you felt like you were in alignment. Any questions? All righty, so we will stay with the same groups. I am going to check in with the group in about 5 minutes to get a pulse on where you are, and then we'll determine when we're going to close out the groups, okay? All right, so we'll go to the groups and I'll share this screen into the breakout rooms. All right, we have everybody back, I believe. I think we just got our last person back. If you all don't mind to share what may have come up for you all in your breakouts. And you feel free to put it in the chat if you would like. Or did anything come up in your breakouts? Robin and Karen talked about the importance of accountability partners. Yes, in the health and wellness world. I think that is one place that I will always need a partner. And Jennifer, hers was more, she could tell when she was out of alignment and would need to go back to her honor plan. Perfect. Okay. Thank you two for sharing. Oh, wait, we got another one. Resourcefulness. I live alone and had a serious accident leading to a tendon surgery. I've tried to do things without a lot of help, so I've had to figure things out. Thank you for sharing that. Practicing what you preach within work and your household. Yes. And sometimes that's hard. Sometimes we don't even realize that we're not doing what we're asking others to do. Thank you all for sharing those. All right, so we're going into our optimistic closure that we typically do with all of our trainings, all of our classes. So imagine a day when you are fully living your values. What does it look like, sound like, and feel like? How does this impact your mood, relationships, and teaching? If you would take about 30 seconds to 1 minute to write down a specific way or behavior that you want to adopt within this next week, this next 7 days, to strengthen that value in your daily life. So what's one thing that you would do specifically to strengthen your value in this next 7 days? All righty. I'm not going to ask you to share that out, but what I will ask is that you take some time to put it on your calendar or set a reminder, so it will remind you to take that one step in the next week. The other thing is that if you are wanting to explore more about your values and how to create actions, daily actions, weekly actions to feel like you are in more alignment. I don't know if y'all use ChatGPT, but ChatGPT will create a plan for you. It will give you affirmations. It will give you visualizations to align with what your values are. So if that is something that you, a practice that you use, feel free to use ChatGPT to expand. Are there any questions that I can answer? All righty. So our key takeaways from this hour that we have been together is living core values foster authenticity, resilience, and positive outcomes for both teachers and students. And small intentional changes lead to sustainable personal and professional growth. So every little thing that we do leads to that growth that we're looking for and that alignment that we're looking for. So I encourage you to continue to make practices, take steps, schedule the things that will help you to be in alignment. And if you don't mind, if you want to stay connected, my QR code is here with my information. Also, your feedback is appreciated. So I know how to make adjustments as I'm going forward. And I want to leave you with this final thought before we end. Authenticity is the daily practice of letting go who we think we're supposed to be and embracing who we are. So I appreciate you taking this time. Those of you that are where it's snowing like me, I hope that you are able to go out and enjoy some of that beautiful snow and have a wonderful and amazing day.
Thank you very much, Dr. McCrae. We appreciate what you had to share with us. I think as a January webinar, it was a perfect topic. It's helping us sort of reframe and look at our values as we head into 2025 and think about the work that we're committed to and why we do it. So thank you. Appreciate your time from Tennessee to Pennsylvania. And yes, please fill out the feedback with her QR code. And again, our next webinar is in March. So please check out the website if you'd like to attend that one. We have another one in March, then April 3rd and May 1st. So 3 more to wrap up the series for this year. Thank you so much. Happy Friday, everyone.